To once again welcome you and remind you of today's subjects at Geoinformatics Geoscience in Germany. Here are our guests, and of course, I will be introducing them separately as well. The organizer of the session is My German University database, where you can find English to study programs, and not only, there are also all study programs listed by German universities. Currently, there are 24,000, actually more than 24,000. And in case you don't have so much time to check one by one and you already know the search that you want to do, you could narrow down the search using different filters and then sorting programs to, I don't know, let's say location or application deadline or some criteria that you could have. In case you want to know more about specific universities, you could use also a Unifinder, which is another great tool that we offer. You can find more information about specific universities, maybe also events they have, they are organizing themselves, and attend them as well. Check out the articles if you want quick answers and not want to wait until our next general webinar. We have articles about different topics, including living in Germany, how to apply, the scholarships, visa, and so on. And these are not only really broad articles, but also very country-specific and topic-specific. For example, visa waiting time for ABC country. And finally, the webinars. With webinars, we try to, with subject webinars, let's say like this, we try to connect you with your future program in Germany in case you are deciding, are in the process, or already have applied and want to get in touch directly with the people, feel free to attend our general subject webinars. And in case you want to know general information about, I don't know, again, like Uni Assist, Visa, Scholarship, Opportunity Card, or blocked account, and so on, we have general webinars, and there me or Camila are there to present the specific topic and also do a round of Q&A with you. This is our team. We are based in Hamburg, Germany. We are counseling in different languages. Please do not take counseling as one-to-one consultations, because we think that the webinars and all the information provided on our page and also program pages is enough to start the application independently. Now, I already used the study finder for you, and you can see 48 degree programs for Geoinformatics Geoscience filtered for the language, English, or English with some German language course or English-German courses, which means that there could be like variation of seminars available in different courses, and then you have 40 and 44 master's program. If you want to know about the subject, general information about how you could study geoscience, geoscience in Germany, you could also check our subject pages. If anybody is interested, I could also share the link. What is really important to make sure that you meet qualification requirements before applying, because this way you already know that you are eligible, and then you could directly apply to study course. Now, the most interesting part will start as I am handing over to University of Tübingen. Dr. Peter Merker will present a Master of Science Applied Environmental Geoscience.
So, okay, welcome everybody. I'm here to present you the Applied and Environmental Geoscience program, and the intent of this is to give you a rough idea what we're all about, how we're somewhat structured, and what we can offer for you. If you have questions afterwards, even after this presentation or the event, feel free to contact me in Tübingen via the website. Okay, the basic idea behind our international master has been basically to give you, as students and future people in the environmental business, a solid foundation for tackling the environmental problems that we have. So we try to be process-oriented, we are quantitative, interdisciplinary, and we want to be internationally competitive, meaning that our students will be able to find jobs all over the world. And so far, this has worked out pretty good, because we are around since 1999, so we have some 20 years. And basically, at the moment, the job offers are everywhere to be found for people that have something to do with geoscience, environmental problems, and solving them. We have been quite successful over the last 25 years. So 22 of our former students currently hold professorships all over the world. And the idea is that we invite 50% of students from non-EU countries and 50% from Germany and EU. So we have a mixed group that can study in Tübingen. To give you an idea what the program is generally about, I'll present shortly the core competencies of the participating work groups. When you come to Tübingen, you should realize that we are pretty much water-related environmental sciences. So if you want to tackle groundwater problems, things with surface waters like rivers, if you are into detecting and finding out the behavior and effects of environmental chemicals, biogeochemistry, and biotechnology, this is a good place to go. And here are some of the professors that work on these things. So we have 2 in groundwater, 1 in rivers. We have a bunch that work in the detection and behavior of environmental chemistry. And since 2021, we have atmospheric physics and measurement technologies also, and physical climatology. So if you just count by the groups, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So a whole bunch of groups that can offer you a lot of different things. Few general characteristics of the program. We have a few compulsory modules that everybody has to go through in order to sort of give you a common level to start from. There are 3 specializations with compulsory courses in each specialization. Everything is taught in English. We have a very strong emphasis on the master thesis, which is preceded by 2 follow-up modules in scientific practice and scientific presentations. And we can offer you a wide range of elective modules that you can choose from. To give you an idea what we mean with emphasis on the master thesis, in the 4 semesters, we have 2 preceding modules. One is called scientific presentation. The other one is called scientific practice. And the scientific presentation is sort of an orientation module. We have what we call Master Day events each semester, where older students present what they do in the master thesis. So you have an idea of what goes on in the department. And you will be presenting on one of those for attendances your own poster once you're done with your master thesis. And additionally, we have ongoing institute seminars where we invite people from the outside and also people from the inside that are new to present what they're doing. So this sort of gives you an idea of what you could go to when you're in Tübingen. The next module would be scientific practice, which is basically an internship in a working group. So you get to know a group in the 3rd semester after you've done your introductory courses and you're pretty much through with your program. You will have a small project that leads up to your master thesis, and the result will be that you have a work plan for your master thesis. The master thesis is basically a work of 6 months where you get a problem set that you will work on with your working group that you have decided on when you did your scientific practice. So the whole procedure sort of leads up to your master thesis. And you get additional 6 credits from scientific presentation to scientific practice and the 30 credits of the master thesis. About the specializations. Basically, we have 3 of them. One is hydrogeology, and it's all about flow and reactive transport in groundwater. So what can you do with it? Usually the people that follow this route will find jobs in hydrogeological consulting firms doing groundwater modeling and stuff like this. The other one is environmental chemistry and environmental microbiology. And this is all about detecting the behavior of environmental chemicals and the microbiological activities in the subsurface. jobs are in the environmental analysis laboratories and chemical assessments. Environmental physics, we have an atmospheric physics class. We do land surface processes, and the jobs here would be mostly consulting firms for climate and wind assessments, for example. So this is the basic structure of the course. You have mandatory courses that everybody has to go through. One is groundwater modeling, one is global change, and one is environmental chemistry. And each one leads into one of the specifications later. So groundwater modeling is sort of the entry door to hydrogeology, global change towards the environmental physics specialization, and environmental chemistry is leading you towards the environmental chemistry and microbiology. We believe that everybody should have the basics in this because this is really hands-on knowledge that you should have when you go into the environmental sector. With the different specializations in hydrogeology, you have to take groundwater modeling 2, remediation of contaminated sites, and hydrogeological field investigations. With the environmental physics, there is a module called atmospheric physics, climate dynamics, and physics of the Earth's surface. And the environmental chemistry and microbiology, it's biodegradation of organic pollutants, hydrogeochemical modeling, and environmental analytical chemistry. And I'll show you some of these things in more detail. So the common mandatory modules, groundwater modeling 1, will give you the flow and transport equations in aquifers, mostly with analytical solution. And for the people that already started the bachelor in Tübingen, this is sort of an advanced physical groundwater hydrology. So if you have a background in this would help, but it's not necessary. Environmental chemistry, you get an introduction into the chemical thermodynamics of aquatic systems, sorption and distribution processes of chemicals in the subsurface, quantitative relationships between structure and activity. So you know if you have a chemical, how it will behave and what you can do with all the knowledge when you go to, let's say, a contaminated site. The global change module is an introduction to climate systems. This includes paleoclimate, consequences of climate change, and what are possible countermeasures. So everybody goes through these. Then there is a mandatory for the specialization. There are biotransformation of pollutants, microbial pollutant degradation, analytical environmental chemistry, and one module that was replaced, it's hydrogeochemical modeling. We have a different module for that, and I'll show you in a second. So there is 3 big modules that you have to take. And the mandatory module that has been replaced is now called Modeling Reactions, Microbial Dynamics, and Bioreactive Transport. So if you go into this specialization, you get a deep insight on what happens in terms of chemistry and microbiology in the subsurface. Now that you have 3 modules that everybody has to take, 3 modules that you have to take for the specialization, there's a whole suite of elective modules that you can add to your pocket, so to speak. And it's a bunch of things, and depending on your background, our students, they come from geosciences, from chemical engineering, and from all sorts of like pure chemistry. Depending on that, people choose out of these modules to fill up for the 180 credits that they need in the end, okay? If you do the hydrogeology specialization, you must do the hydrogeological field investigation. We have our own test site just out of Tübingen, where you do all sorts of pumping tests and anything that you can do with pumps and tracer tests and whatever. Groundwater modeling will be an introduction to numerical modeling of flow and mass transport. and remediation of contaminated sites will give you an insight of the processes acting at contaminated sites and how you investigate them and how you remediate them. For the specialization, there's also a bunch of suitable electives that you can choose from. So again, depending on what your background is, you might maybe look more into geophysics, or you might want to look into biotransformation of pollutants. This is something that you can look into. If you do the specialization in environmental physics, there's also 3 modules that you have to take for the specialization: atmospheric physics, climate dynamics, and physics of the Earth's surface. All of these specialization modules can also be taken as electives if you do a different specialization. So what you need to do is look at what we offer, choose your specialization, and then you have take the blocks that you need from all kinds of modules to build up your own personal background. So for the specialization in environmental physics, you have physics of the processes in surface waters, modeling sustainable management. It's just you need to actually look at it in detail by yourself because it's just a whole bunch of it. The application deadline for our program is the 30th of April. And if you have any questions with regard to what we offer or any questions about the program or the work groups, I invite you to the website. And what I would really like you to do is to look at the work groups, see what we offer, and make sure that the program that we have is interesting to you, because the most important thing for your master program is that you find something that you're really interested and that will serve your purposes once you want to go into a job. Okay? So this is basically everything I wanted to tell you in short. It's a lot, but you get all the data again after the event. And if you have any questions, just let me know.
Let's move to Kiel, from where we will have 2 presentations. So we will have Dr. Nina Köhl and Professor Dr. Thomas Meyer presenting today Master of Science Marine Geosciences and Geophysics study programs.
I'm the study program coordinator here in Kiel, and I've brought a lot of information. So if you want to revisit this video at the end, of course, you're very welcome. It's like the previous program. It's a program which has 120 ECTS points. It's an international program. It's a full-time program, but many of our students actually manage to work next to their studies, and most of them actually do that as student workers in our research laboratories. So it's a really nice combination of studying and actually gaining practical knowledge. There's a few prerequisites which I want to highlight here. You need a bachelor's degree with 180 ECTS, and 50 ECTS should come from a geoscience background. That means many of our students, they come from geosciences bachelors, but we take a full variety of students and are happy to do so. So for instance, we've had students from geography, from biology, from archaeology, and so on. And it's a really nice interdisciplinary integration which we do into our study program. You need to have, maybe some of you are not finished yet with their bachelor diploma. So as soon as you have 100 ECTS in your transcript of records, you can actually apply. And then you have 2 semesters to finish your bachelor's and supply the final certificate. You need a minimum GPA of 2.5. Attention, this is going to change to 2.9, so it's more lenient as of October 27. The language is English, so we need to see an English proficiency certificate. Several certificates are accepted. Some of them, we know they cost money. So if you want to have a for free option, we know that, for instance, the DAAD offices, they also offer those certificates where you can take them, and they are usually for free. It's a 4-semester layout. We always start at the winter semester. So be ready to move to Kiel October 1st. The application deadline is in April 26th. And actually, the portal will open as early as February 27. And we encourage you to apply early in this 6-week time frame, because the earlier you apply, the earlier we can actually get back to you and confirm your attendance. This means you have more time to actually apply for your visa, because depending on where you are from, you need to take the visa application as well, which might take some time. Sorry, it's a long day. Too many lectures today. We apply via UniAssist. The link is on there, and as soon as February 27, you can actually then see our program. And rest assured, UniAssist, they actually also look at your applications. However, they have known to make some small mistakes, and I personally guarantee you that I will look personally at each and every application. So irregardless of what UniAssist does, we will look at all your applications, because we value your applications very much. So all of them will be seen. It's important to mention that, because we had some problems where UniAssist rejected candidates which actually we wanted to keep. So we will check every and individual application on there. Okay, why should you study marine geosciences? Well, we assume you have an interest in marine topics, for instance, marine geology and technology, and you like scientific work, because we are very research oriented. So this includes the planning actually of scientific work, but also the carrying out and the presentation of scientific work. We have a high component of field and ship work. I will show this to you in a few slides down the road, where we actually look at our schedule. And of course, we also, these days, I think nobody can get away without modeling. So obviously, we also have those components in our study program. It's very interdisciplinary. So while, yes, many of your classwork comes from geology and geophysics, we have the whole suite ranging from climate physics to biology, sustainability, you name it. We are going to have a very quick overview of the participating working groups, and to give you an overview of what kind of teaching we also do, because we do research-oriented teaching, which means we take our research into the teaching modules to give you hands-on experience. We have the professorship of paleontology and historical geology teaching with us, coastal geology, paleoceanography and climate, paleoceanography and marine geology. So you see a lot of sea-going pictures, which is true, because we like to go to the sea, and we will take you to the sea in our study program. We also have marine micropaleontology. We have a variety of lectures from a research institution, which is also located in Kiel, the 𝘗𝘢𝘪𝘥. And they are very much involved in our teaching. So this means you have a very strong connection to the 𝘗𝘢𝘪𝘥, and many of our students intensify this connection by going on cruises with them, by joining the labs to work there as student assistants, and so on and so forth. Many of our students, they do their project works or their master theses in cooperation with the 𝘗𝘢𝘪𝘥. Other participating working groups are the working group of organic geochemistry, ocean circulation and climate dynamics, paleoclimate and modeling, marine biogeochemistry, marine geophysics, but you're going to hear a bit more about geophysics in a second, so I'm not going to go into detail here, petrology and geodynamics, both at the university, but also at the 𝘗𝘢𝘪𝘥. Okay, so here's a layout of our study program. I will take you from semester to semester, and it's organized in a way that each row presents one semester. So the first semester, we have coastal geology, marine biogeochemistry, marine petrology, submarine mapping, paleoceanography, and introduction to climate sciences. You can already see that They are marked as light blue, so this means those are the technical basics. I already said that we accept a lot of students from other backgrounds, for instance, biology, and we need to bring you up to speed so that you all have the same level of knowledge, because the second semester is our field-going semester. So this means we take you to the field. A few of those modules, they're all taught in the winter semester, have actually excursions. For instance, in coastal geology, you have an excursion where you go to actually a really nice vacation island of Germany, but this excursion actually happens in the summer semester because, trust me, you do not want to go to the island of Sylt in the wintertime. So this means you will be ready to join us in the field after having gone through the first semester. There's a few compulsory courses in the first semester, but just two of them. One is sustainability, the other one is paleobiology, and then there is plenty of practical excursions and electives. One is a cruise, so you will actually go on a research vessel, the 𝘗𝘪𝘵𝘩, and like a normal cruise, you will do everything yourself. And you have the opportunity to either join another cruise with a different focus or to go onto a petrological field exercise. They usually go to a Mediterranean island for about 3 weeks' time. And then you start to actually form your own specialized profile. Unlike the other program you have just been informed about, we don't have set structures or paths you can take, but we give you the opportunity that every student can form their own specialization in a way that they see fit. So this means you have a total of 25 ECTS, where you can either select from a list of compulsory electives. I haven't brought you the list, but it's very extensive. It ranges from paleobiology to petrology to petrological modeling to further introductory courses, like very, very diverse. And those purple courses on the right, there are our CAU-wide option courses. So those courses you can actually take from every program at Kiel University. If you're interested in biology, you can maybe go to biological oceanography. If you're interested in the law of the sea, you can do that, and so on and so forth. So we have a structure in place at Kiel University to help you choose those courses. Simultaneously, our third semester has a high rate of those compulsory elective courses, but also something special as our mobility window. So we like to send our students, those that want, into either an Erasmus program or a Promos. This is a possibility if you want to go further than the Erasmus world. And another specialty is a project work. So you can either do a research project if you want to, I don't know, work with a certain research group, which I have just shown to you, or you can go into the industry and work there. It's up to you what you decide. So you can really form your specialization exactly according to your needs. And the fourth semester, as I think probably every study program, you will do your master thesis. Okay, I want to talk to you quickly about a few specialties of Kiel University. One of them is CEU. So we are part of the European University of the Seas. Right now, we are in 9 universities spread all across Europe. And we don't have a physical campus together, but we share the same ideology and we share our classes. So this means, for instance, the sustainability class I just told you about, I share it simultaneously to all those other 8 universities, and I have students from them actually joining us. But we don't only share our courses, we also share our lecturers. So I will invite lecturers from all over CEU to actually contribute with their knowledge of sustainability into our program. So this makes everything very interdisciplinary and very top-notch, because we have the opportunity to include lecturers from 8 other universities into your study program. But of course, it's not only regular courses, it's also MOOCs, massive open online courses. We have virtual mobility options, we have summer schools, and so on and so forth. It's a really nice opportunity for you to get experience abroad. Another specialty, for instance, would be blended intensive programs, where you take a period of studying at home, and then everybody meets at one of those universities for a period of a week or 2 weeks, where you then work together on a certain problem. And the combination of the meeting in person and the preparatory online meeting before, this is what we call a blended intensive program. And obviously, you're going to collect your ECTS points that way. We also have 𝘱𝘢𝘪𝘵 at Kiel University. It's an acronym standing for Foster Young Ocean Research Development. And the specialty is that usually universities, when they actually want to develop their researchers, they start to think of the PhD students and the postdocs, but we actually integrate the master students. So via 𝘱𝘱𝘪𝘵, you have the opportunity to ask for research funding for your own master thesis. You have the opportunity to go to conferences via conferences funding. You have the opportunity to join courses and so on. It's a very unique program situated at Kiel University. Lastly, I want to talk to you about the IMSMS. It's our Interdisciplinary Master School of Marine Sciences, where the international master programs pool all their courses into this big pool. For instance, I share all our courses in there. And as a favor, you can then take courses from all the other programs that share their courses in there. Makes it very easy to gather your CAU-wide option points. I've brought you a short overview of a research profile from one of our students, Janne Scheffler, who really took full advantage of everything we have to offer. She went on several cruises. She actually did her Erasmus in Gothenburg. She went for her master's to the University of Tasmania. And I think she really took well advantage of all the cool things we have to offer at Kiel University. But even if you do not want to do it as extensively as Janne, there are still plenty of opportunities to do. So, for instance, last semester, our students were on a research cruise on the RV Sonne. They've participated in mesocosm studies from the 𝘗𝘢𝘪𝘥 on the Canary Islands. And actually, one of my students, Kim, right now is at the RV Alcor, and she has sent me some pictures. So this is basically a live view, well, the view from yesterday on the Baltic Sea, just to highlight to you that we really take it seriously when we say that you can get your hands wet and muddy. If you don't join those research cruises, you have plenty of opportunities to participate in all this within our normal curriculum. For instance, this 3-day research cruise in the Baltic Sea. This is an example from a field excursions to the island of Rügen. 2 last slides for you before I let you go. And obviously, I'm going to answer your questions. One of the questions is always, what can I do when I've done this master's? Well, basically, I can promise you that we cannot print out the certificates as quickly as you guys are being offered jobs. And by saying this, I'm not joking. The market right now is really, really good for geo-related subjects. And all our students, actually, they find their jobs before they even graduate. So you can go into marine geological fields into every direction you think of. We are very interdisciplinary, which is an advantage. So there is many of possible job opportunities for you out there. And why actually study marine geosciences at Kiel University? I would say what makes us special is actually this high flexibility, the easy access to the research fleet and field courses. And well, studying in Kiel is really nice. It's a sea town. I don't think I have to say anything more about this. It's a big institute, so this means many topics are covered. So if you're interested in petrology, you can come to us. If you're interested in biogeochemistry, you can come to us. So it's a really vibrant research environment. With that, I want to say thank you very much for your attention. I will look into the chat to help answer the questions, and you can also ask questions at the end.
Okay, well, this is another master study program in Kiel University. You have heard about Tübingen at the beginning, now Kiel. And this is another geoscientific master program in Kiel. Why do you want to study that? the thing is, if you are interested in mathematics, physics, if you really want to learn how the Earth is working from the near surface down to the core of the Earth, then why don't you study geophysics? I'm giving this presentation here today for Sebastian Krastel, who is the head of the examination board, and I'm going to give you a bit in flavor of what can you do here, and what do we offer, and what are the possibilities, job possibilities after finishing the studies. I think you have seen that almost entirely already. Nina explained that. Let me point out this is very similar because we are at the same university. However, there is something special about geophysics. So we welcome students from physics, from geosciences, engineering, various topics, that's all fine, but you need at least 5 ECTS in the subjects of physics, geophysics, or mathematics. So because it's really a study that is based on mathematical, physical methods, say it like this, and therefore I think it's necessary that you have that. Yeah? If you don't have them, maybe you can get some later here. You can maybe have 10 or so credit points you can acquire here in Kiel, but that's what we require. And of course, it will be in English, that's clear. The starting is the same as Nina was explaining to you. And also, Uni Assist is the webpage that you can use to apply to, or also the International Center in Kiel, and here you can get additional information. Why do you want to study geophysics? I mean, this is really quite broad. Let's say it like this. The first thing is, how can we learn about the deep Earth? The deepest borehole is about 12 kilometers or so. But if you really want to know what are the driving forces for the geodynamics, then we have to go deeper, and that's what we do with geophysics. But then the other thing is the ocean floor. Essential to understand then all the processes acting in the seas, and that's what you can do by, of course, diving down, but you can do that also with geophysical models. Methods. And the other thing is applied environmental methods I taught here. And another point that it's really special is data analysis, numerical, say, capabilities. That's what you really learn here. And you can use that in geophysics, in geosciences, but you can do that also in many, many other fields after finishing your studies. And one of the key points that we have here is that we have a lot of practical models, a lot of field work. This is also similar to the previous master program. So that means we really like you that you get experiences. You are not only taught, say, in classes, but you will really go to the field. You will learn what can you do with geophysics. And here we have essentially 4 working groups. I will go quickly through them. This gives you the first flavor of the 4 groups. The first is satellite and aerogeophysics. That means the Earth is today also studied from the space. Yeah, that's really interesting. And this is, you can measure then the formation of the Earth. You can measure the gravity field of the Earth. You can really then model also how these deep processes are affecting actually then the tectonics at the surface. And seismic tomography, seismology, that's I'm representing that here in Kiel. So we are doing seismicity, of course, but we do also seismic tomography in order to learn more about the 3D structure of the Earth. This is similar to medicine. Yeah, I think you know that, and you want then really to learn what's inside without hurting a body or so. But here we do the same thing because we cannot go so deep. And here this is, for instance, you see that in Central Europe, cyclitosphere and synlithosphere, and how that is related to the topography, for instance, but also applied topics like the dikes. Here in Germany, we have coasts that need to be protected. And so we try to understand how is the structure of these dikes, how safe are they? Are they in danger? And that's what we want to do with seismic tomography. And then applied geophysics, we have a group dealing with that. And this is, as we said before, very much related to archaeological prospecting. So archaeologists really want to know where do I have to dig now? And this is you can do geophysical investigations to understand where what can be found in the underground. For instance, here you see then I think streets, and so this is really former settlement, and this is buried completely. You see that outside in the topography, in the photography, this is how it's looking like. But if you take here magnetic anomalies, you see what is actually buried in the ground. And here also in the Waddensee, old houses that can be detected, and the groundwater investigations has been mentioned already in the first program. Then the fourth group is then doing marine geophysics and hydroacoustics. This is Sebastian Kastel is doing that. And here we want to know what are the causes of marine geohazards, sediment transports, how do the lakes develop, and they are acting also as a climate archive. So it's really important to study also not only the seas but also lakes. And you see here some selected working areas that's quite broad, from the Baltic to the North Sea that we have here close to Kiel, to the Atlantic Oceans or Antarctica or New Zealand even. So then, this has been mentioned already by Nina Coyle. In Kiel, it's special that we have GEOMA here. This is a research center focusing on geoscientific topics related to marine investigations. And here we have a couple of professors that contribute to the lectures at our university. We are working very closely with them, and in the course of the teaching, but also in the course of research studies. You know, then already we have 4 semesters, similar as in the other programs. Then I will go into several details. The last semester is devoted again to the master thesis, similar to the other programs. And so what is then, say, the structure of our program? The first thing is we have several modules. And you can, in basic modules at first, and then specialized modules, but you can always choose what you want. So for basic modules, for instance, you take 4 of 6. And this is, for instance, dynamics of the Earth, theory of elastic wave propagation, potential theory, introduction to seismology, and so on. And you have to take 4 of 6. Then you have here the specialized modules. And here you can choose 6 out of 14. Yeah, and here where you say this is what I'm more interested in, and you see here rock physics, acoustic imaging of sedimentary basins, near surface geophysics, tectonophysics, and so on. So you choose what you are interested in, and these are the specialized modules. And then we have the practical modules, practical training, then the seminars. So you participate in field excursions. So this is something that we offer here. You see it in the topics. This is combined with modules in the lab. So you see that this is quite broad possibilities that you have here. And what can you do maybe afterwards? Research is one option, of course, geophysical exploration. And geophysical exploration, this goes from the near surface geophysics. So if you groundwater, also the the investigation for the infrastructures also, and up to then also then resources or also even geohazard explorations. Then the other point is data science. This is a very strong point. You can also go to another field that is applying similar data science principles, energy transition, environmental topics, yeah, and then authorities. This is also some of our students go also there. And if you like, because we do also some programming, you learn some programming and things like that, then you may also go in this direction, technology or software development. Why do you want to study that? Maybe very broad, quite broad, you really practically oriented. And I think we have strong connection to 𝘗𝘢𝘪𝘥. And of course, here you see, Nina mentioned that it's not the biggest city in Germany, but it's a nice city close to the coast that you may like if you are coming here. I think that's it from my side, and thank you so much, and I'm happy to take questions.
Great, thank you. Thank you to everybody. And we have quite time for the Q&A now. Yeah, first I want to ask the question to Dr. Merkel because I promised one of the attendees to clarify this for him. So Ben is asking about the GPA. Is it so you have 2.5 GPA requirement? How strict is it? The case is that the person has 2.8 with 5 years of work experience, and if necessary, can submit also GRE exam to somehow compensate. Is it possible, or maybe it's better to directly connect with you via email? I don't know. You are muted.
Okay, so the application goes via the central administration, and the central administration calculates the GPA necessary. And if the GPA is not 2.5, then we don't even get the application. So
Okay.
It doesn't work like that, no,
All
unfortunately.
right. And to follow up, do you have limited spots available for internationals or as a size group? And I also want to ask this question
But the
to
size
others.
group we can take in is a maximum of 40. But over the last 20 years, we never reached it. So chances to get a place are generally high if you have the prerequisites.
Mm-hmm. The same question for Kiel. So there were multiple questions about spots available, and then I was writing there is at least for Nina's program no admission restrictions but ability test. So it's better that they hear that from you. And yeah, maybe you could mention that.
Of course. So we don't have ability tests at M.Sc Marine Geosciences. So basically, we will look at your application. We have usually an intake of something around 15 or 20 students every year. And usually it works out well with the applications we get.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Professor Mike.
And this is similar with our program here. So what is a bit special is that you need really the 50 credit points in math and physics. This is really important.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Let's continue. Let's take this question for all, and let's start again with Dr. Merkel. Are the first semester courses super fast?
If you would ask our students, there are the mandatory classes are in the first semester. And depending on where you're from, if you're coming from the chemistry side, then the chemical module is not so difficult for you. If you come from the geoscience or hydrogeological direction, then the hydrogeology is not so bad. But everybody would tell you that the first semester is the hardest one, just because you need to get used to a different educational surrounding. You need to get an insight in the system. It's a new city. So yeah, I would think that the first semester is probably the most demanding, because when you're at semesters 2, 3, and 4, you go towards your direction of interest more. And I think this is the same in every program that needs to build a certain level for everybody.
Exactly. Exactly the same answer for us as well. It's also due to the fact that our students are very interdisciplinary, so they come from very different backgrounds, and we want to send you into the field in the second semester. So somewhere between you getting your degree in whatever and us going into the second semester, there is the first semester where we need to build the basis. So it's exactly the same for our case.
And just let me ask, I mean, usually students need 4 semesters. That means 2 years really to complete the program. That's essentially what it is. No? And at the beginning, it's maybe demanding. What we are trying is, of course, to get you in touch with other students. From older semesters, or that we have supervisors for you, so that you get in touch, so that may help you also in the first months. Yeah? But I mean, you cannot really speed up the program, I would say. It takes 4 semesters, but it's doable, and yeah, that's maybe that.
Thank you. Yeah, so open admission or close was already mentioned. There was another question about coming from a background, from a bachelor from outside of EU. I'm worried my bachelor curriculum will not fully match. Will I need extra modules in this case? Yeah, I see feedback from Annika. Thank you for this. But maybe let's voice this for each program. Professor Maya, you are unmuted already, so maybe let's start with you.
Yeah, well, as I said, so we accept students from various bachelor programs, that's clear. And as I said, geophysics, as the name is saying, it's focusing a bit on mathematical and physical, has a mathematical physical focus. So therefore, you need to like that. Yeah, and you need also the CTS for this to 50 CTS to match and to make it to become accepted.
Nina?
Yeah, it's similar for us. So you need to show us 50 ECTS from geo-related subjects. On our webpage, there is a long list of what that actually is. And usually we define this on because every transcript of records is different if you do not come from Bachelor of Geosciences. And usually I then work with the applicants on a case-by-case basis. The best is if you are from a different discipline and you're not done yet to contact me beforehand. And usually we can then find courses at your home university that we can count and you can then maybe take. And if you have not all those courses collected at the point of your application, you can collect up to 10 ECTS while you are with us. So you can take courses from our bachelor to make up for this missing level. However, our bachelor is taught in German, so depending on your German skills, which are not a requirement for marine geosciences students, it might be more challenging to complete those 10 ECTS, but it is possible.
Thank you. And Dr. Michael.
Yeah, so for Tübingen, we have the very bare minimum of 6 credits in math, 6 credits in chemistry, 6 credits in physics, and 6 credits in geoscience. Since most of the applicants that we have come from a natural science background, it is not so critical, but this is the bare minimum that you have to have. If you're not from geosciences, we do offer an introductory geoscience class for the international students that can make up for the 6 credits in geoscience. So even if you have no background in geosciences, this is not the real problem. But we are quite quantitative, and you should be aware that if you don't like math and if you don't like chemistry, we are probably not the right place for you. So be aware that this is a very quantitative program. So you do a lot of number crunching, modeling, and calculations, and we put a strong focus on the physical processes and the chemical processes. So that's it. But basically, yeah, with a minimum of some 24 credits, you would be eligible unless the rest of your transcript is totally different.
Mm-hmm. Let me stay with you because there was a question about pre-knowledge. Let me find it. So because you mentioned that there are lots of modeling and quantitative things, and one of the questions was, I never used advanced softwares. Do you expect prior coding skills?
Not necessarily. There will be courses available in Python. Python is probably used the most to do homework and this, but this is being introduced in the first semester. So if you don't have coding skills, this is not, it's helpful if you have it, but if you don't have it, it's not a real problem unless you don't like to touch that. So you should be open to it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And while answering this, we also got a question for Kiel. The same question: how much programming experience is expected at the beginning of the geophysics master, and are there opportunities to further develop coding skills?
Yes, I mean, programming is essential. That's clear. You can learn that here, that's fine. But you can also take introductory courses that we offer, that's okay. But similar as what Dr. Merkel said, you should be open to this, and because you have to, at the end, to complete your modules, and then it's required, yeah, and therefore you need really to work then and to learn then also a bit of programming. And at the end, this is an advantage for you if you can do that, yeah, because this is one of the strengths actually of this program, that you will use it and that you can learn it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. Another question is about the field work. I know Nina mentioned a lot about the field work, about the trips, and so on. If you want to highlight anything, you could just do so. And also the other panelists, if you want to add on these questions, add on to this question, how much of field work is part of it, or is it mostly classrooms?
Well, maybe I start.
You could.
Depending on what you do, if you go towards chemistry, there's of course more lab. And if you go towards hydrogeology or the geophysics part or the environmental physics part, there is more outside work. So we do have our own hydraulic test field in the Neckar Valley, just outside Tübingen. You have the chance to go on field trips. So there will be a geophysical campaign in Vorarlberg in Austria, where they look at some stuff in the mountains. So depending on what you are interested in, there is more or less field work. If you do hydrogeology and you do your master thesis, you're bound to end up in the field. There is no way around this. And if you do pumping tests, tracer tests, if you go sampling, this is all done in the field. I would think that maybe depending on which direction you take, there is maybe 2/3 of classroom and 1/3 of either field work or lab work. That's sort of a rule of thumb.
Thank you. Professor Meyer?
Yeah, well, this is very similar for us. Essentially, we have, say, practical modules. That means where you really do the analysis, data analysis by yourself, real field data, you analyze them. And so this you can choose which ones you want. There are a couple of options, and you say, okay, I'm more interested in this and that. And I think these are 4 modules that you have to take. And then in addition, we have seminars and field trips by also. Then usually you go 10 days, at least 10 days, you participate in field campaigns. And what the students do essentially, they look around what is offered at this semester, and then they contact the lecturers and say, well, I'm interested, is there a spot free, and can I take part? And then you're allowed to do so. And the field work is, of course, either it's going to the ship. This is also partly similar to this Master of Marine Geosciences, or you go, say, for instance, in the 𝘱𝘠𝘵𝘯𝘪𝘆, or you investigate infrastructure, or you see the groundwater, geophysical investigations of groundwater. All these things are possible, but this is highly variable because we prefer really to do that in combination with real research projects. Therefore, this is not a fixed class and every student does it. Yeah, so, but it's really flexible and it's changing from semester to semester. But you have to take these classes.
Yes, also
Thank
plenty
you.
of field work for us, and plenty of opportunities, and our students take well advantage of all the field going opportunities there are.
Great, that's very important. Thank you. And the very last question for today's session, which was one of the first coming in, is that I think it's for Dr. Merkel, but in case others also want to take, feel free to go ahead. And it says, it is not possible to choose courses across the specializations, right?
Oh no, it's completely different. So what we have, it's sort of like a Lego box. You have blocks,
Okay.
and if you go into one specialization, that means you have the 3 mandatory classes that everybody takes, and then you have 3 additional ones that sort of push you into your specialization. And all the rest of the modules are electives, and you can choose electives that are in mandatory blocks in another specialization. This is all depending on you. So the real thing is you have to do your master thesis. You have 3 mandatory classes in the first semester, and in semester 2 and 3, there's 3 other mandatory ones. So you choose your specialization, and the rest, and I think this is 8 or 9 modules, is elective. So you can take whatever you want. So it's really important to look at the module handbook. If I would look at the people that teach, if what they teach is interesting, and then look at the module handbook and see what is being offered, and then whether this makes sense to you, then we might be the right place for you. So if you are into hydrogeology and environmental chemistry, I think we're good. If you really look into, I don't know, deep geophysics, then go to Kiel.
Great. Thank you.